Hello, my dear learners. How are you all? I hope you all are good, healthy, happy. So, here I am, your computer educator. My name is Yashvi. So, I welcome you all in your computer class. So, my dear learners, we will start chapter number first of your book. Okay, so this chapter number first of your books tells you about computer of a computer. So what are the things that we have to discuss in this chapter? I tell you. First of all, as in the previous classes, we already know about computer, hardwares, types of hardwares, input devices, output devices. Yes or no? In class 4th, in class 3rd, we already discussed. But in this class, we discuss the same. But we discuss each and everything in more detailed and elaborated way. Okay? So we will discuss all these things that we already discussed in your previous classes. But in this class, we will see each one of the topic in very detailed way. Because now you all are in class 5th. Okay. So you know each and everything in detail. Okay. So ready for this class? So in this class, first of all, as we know about computer, we will see about computer. In computer divided into hardware and software. So we will see first what is hardware. In hardware, there are two types of components. One is input devices. So we will see what is input devices, what are input devices and their roles. And then we will see about output devices. What is output devices and their categories of it. Okay. So these are the things first we have to discuss. Okay. Then we will discuss what is RAM, what is ROM. Okay, what is CPU, what is motherboard of a computer, all these things. Okay, so ready for this class? So let's start chapter number first. Okay, so here's your friend Marwan. So he asked you, we have learned in the previous classes that a computer system is made up of many components. We already discussed in the previous classes that computer is made up of many components. Each component of a computer help it to perform a certain task. When all the components of a computer work together, then a computer can give the desired result. So computer works with their components. Okay. So we will see what are their components and how these components help computer to work properly. Okay. So the components of a computer can be classified into two main categories: external devices and internal devices. So these are the two main categories we can divide the computer. First is external and then is internal. Okay, external one and the internal one. So we will see what are they. Okay, second one is internal device. Okay, so external means the devices that are external. Okay, so external devices such as those are situated outside the computer. Outside the computer, for example, keyboard, mouse, monitor. So we will highlight all these things. So that's why it's helpful for you to understand. Like external devices that can be situated outside the computer, just like your keyboard, mouse, monitor. And you can easily visible it. Yes, we can easily touch it, feel it. What is keyboard, what is mouse. So these are situated outside the computer. So this is external devices. On the other hand, such components are concealed with the computer and cannot seen. So it is within or inside the computer. We cannot able to see. So they are called internal device. Okay, there are certain components that can be partially visible from the outside. In this chapter, we will dwell deeper into the hardware components of the computer. So in this class, we will see about hardware components. What is computer hardware and their components? Okay, so first we will see about external components of a computer that is easily visible, that are situated outside the computer. So they are called external components of a computer. So external components, first we will see about input devices. In the external components, we will see first input devices. Let's see what is input devices. So the input devices are those devices which help us to give data and instruction to the computer system so that a computer can perform different task. So this is input devices that give input to the computer. Okay, so they help us to give data and instruction to the computer. What does input devices help? So they give data to the computer so that the computer can work properly. So we can say we have already learned about keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone and other few other devices in the previous class. Yes, in the class 4th, we already discussed the input devices such as keyboard, the mouse, because they help us to fill the data into the computer. Okay, so with the help of input devices, we can enter the data or instruction to the computer. So let us learn some more input devices. We already know about keyboard, mouse, scanners, but we will see some other input devices that you might not study in the previous classes. Okay, this is new for you. So first is input devices, light pen. This is light pen. What it is look like this. Okay, so what is its role? Let's see. So a light pen is an input as well as pointing device which exactly resemble a normal pen. It's look like a normal pen. Mostly nowadays we can use in tablets these pens, and in the smart boards we can use these light pen to write something on the board or something in the tab. So it is typically connected to a computer monitor. Normally it is connected to a computer monitor. In modern time, stylus or light pens are also available with tabs. They help user to draw or point to an object on a computer screen or the monitor. So it helps us to point something on the computer on your tab. Okay, so it is known as a stylus also and as a light pen also. So you may have seen smart boards in school. The light pen which we use to write on the boards is a light pen. Normally in the smart boards, normally a pen is there to write something on the smart board. So this is light pen. With the help of light pen, we can easily write anything on the board. Like it is same as that in the notebook, we with the help of pen and with the help of pencil, we can able to write. So in the same way, in the smart board, the light pen is there to write something. So the pen which we can use to write on the boards is a light pen. Light pen are primarily used with touch sensitive monitors. So normally it is used in the touch screen like in the tablets, in the smart boards. We can able to use light pen to write something on the board. Okay. Next input device is barcode readers. So it looks like this. It is known as barcode readers. So what is their use? Let's see. If you have visited a mall for shopping or grocery stores, then you must have noticed some patterns of line of different thickness on various products. Normally this barcode is there on the products, on the items. Normally when you purchase something from the mall or from the grocery store. Okay, so these patterns of line are called barcodes. So normally these are the black and white lines. They are called as a barcodes. So the device which is used to read barcode is known as barcode readers. So the device which can able to read that barcode. Okay, so the device name is barcode reader. So that barcode reader can able to read that barcode. Okay, so a barcode reader scans and read the pattern and decode the information of a product on a computer system. So normally in the malls, in the shopping complexes, they every product have that barcode. So with the barcode reader, they can scan it. Okay, because in the barcode reader, all the information about that product is there. So when that a person or executive, the one can scan that barcode, then their product displays on their computer screen. Okay, so we can say the barcodes are widely used in mall shoppings for recording for the sales of the item. So these are the barcode readers as an input device. Okay, next input device is the tablets. So these are the tablets. Okay, so it is an input device which is used for many purposes, such as to browse the internet, click email, download and read books, play games, watch videos, organize content and much more. With the help of tablets, we can do lots of things. Okay, we can read books. We can chat, we can call it also, we can browse anything. Normally nowadays people use tablets for their presentation to read books or play games. Okay, so this is the other thing is there. Okay, a tablet consists of a flat surface on which a user can work using a stylus. Okay, stylus and nothing, or we can say a light pen. With the help of light pen, with the help of stylus, we can able to write on the tablets. So tablets are also a great use for capturing handwritten signature of the people. Okay, so this is the thing also. Next is the fourth is MICR. What is MICR? That is magnetic ink character reader. So this is like this one. This is magnetic ink character reader. So have you seen a checkbook? Normally when you see a checkbook, checkbooks contain the bank account number and other details of a customer written in a special code. So normally in the checkbook, in the checkbook, no, at the bottom of the checkbook, we can see a special character or special codes are there. So these codes are scanned and read with the help of MICR, that is magnetic ink character reader. Okay, so the MICR code is printed using a magnetizable ink or toner and can be read using a MICR device. So with the help of MICR device, we can able to read that code which is there in the checkbook. Okay, so the MICR has a magnetic head which can be detached the magnetic pattern for each character and decode the information. So with the help of this code, they can able to decode the information. So this is MICR. Okay, next device is the fifth, that is biometric device. Normally biometric devices are there in schools, in offices to mark the attendance of their staff, of their teachers. Okay, so biometrics are there. Okay, so this is also input because we have to give input in that device. They cannot show output. We have to enter your face, or you have to show your face in biometric, or you can enter any password in it. So this is biometric device. So a biometric device is used for verifying the identity of a person based on his or her appearance, physical characteristics such as fingerprint, facial images, iris recognition. So normally biometric help us to identify the physical appearance of a person with the help of their face, with the help of their fingerprint, with the help of their iris. Okay, the term biometric is derived from the Greek word bio, which means life, and metric means measure. So this is biometric. Okay, these devices help in enhancing security as compared to the techniques of keeping login IDs and password. Normally biometrics are there to keep security on it. Okay, normally nowadays lockers have the biometric system, so that's why your we can say money, gold should be safe. Okay, so we can say these days biometric devices are used in our passport offices, Aadhaar card verification, and in the office for login entries. Normally login entries means to mark the attendance of their staff. Login biometric devices are there. Okay, so nowadays we do not need any pen or paper or register to mark your attendance. You just go there, show your face in the biometric, or show with your fingerprints also they can identify you. Okay, because they already have filled the data of their staff, so they with the help of that they can able to verify you. Okay, so they are used in health and fitness devices. So this is the biometric devices. So all these things, whether it is a barcode reader, whether it is a light pen, whether it's a tablet or MICR or biometric device, these are the input devices. Next input device is sixth, that is digital cameras. Nowadays digital cameras are very popular. So a digital camera can be used to click pictures or to record videos along with pictures. So we can able to record your sound as well as with your pictures with the help of digital cameras. Okay, so we can say a digital camera has a memory card in it. Digital camera has a memory card. All the pictures are stored on the memory card on the camera and can be transferred to the computer by memory card reader slot available in the desktop or laptop. So normally whatever the picture you click with your digital camera, you can transfer into your computer, or yes, you can transfer it first in your computer with the help of that memory card. This is the other thing, okay? So we can click very beautiful pictures of you with the help of digital cameras, okay? Next, seventh is webcam is also there, okay? Webcam. So what does webcam do? So a webcam can be connected to the laptop or desktop through a USB port. Through the USB port, this is connected to your computer. It records videos and capture images which can be saved and shared with other people using the internet. Yes, with the help of webcam also we can able to click your photos and we can able to share your photos with the help of internet. It is used to make videos call in applications such as Skype, FaceTime or WhatsApp. So normally in the computer, I'm not talking about laptops. Normally in the computer, there should be no cameras are there. Okay. So we have to put webcam on it, webcam on it. So if you want to make a video call or video conferencing with the help of computer, so computer don't have the, we can say camera. So with the help of webcam, we can able to do video conferencing, WhatsApp call, video call, or all these things. But nowadays, tablets and laptops have inbuilt cameras on it. So we do not need to take any extra webcams for that. Okay. Next, other is screen touch. Normally, screen touch are very popular nowadays. Computers, nowadays laptops, nowadays tablets, mobile phones, all comes in a screen touch mode. We have to just click on the button and it opens up. Okay. So our screen touch is a display screen which operates with human touch and works as an input devices. Normally you have to just open it, touch with your touch, it can open, it can work. Okay. There is no big keypad thing is there nowadays. Okay. So touch screens are easy to use and are usually found in mobile phones, ATMs, ticket collections, terminals, and in airports. Normally, whatever the screens are there nowadays are in the metros also. If you want to recharge your metro card, also the screen touch surface is there. Screen touch, we can say ATM not metro recharge machines are there. So the metro recharge machine is also screen touch. Okay. So this is the thing. Next, ninth is joysticks. This one is joystick. Normally, when we play games, so with the help of joystick we can play. So a joystick is an input device which is generally used in a game parlors to play video games or comes as video games consoles. Normally video games we have to, because video games are playing with on the screen, so we can control their motions, like in the car if you have to move here and there like this. So with the joystick we can able to control your game. Okay. So it is used to change the direction of an object or cursor. It is used to generally in a car racing game. Normally in a car racing game we have to use joysticks. Next is 10th, that is RFID, that is radio frequency identification. This is, it is important. This is RFID. Okay, so a radio frequency identification system use tags or labels attached to an object which needs to identify through RFID. Two ways radio transmitter received call, interrogator or reader send a signals to the tag and readers in response. A basic radio frequency identification, that is RFID system, consists of three components: an antenna or coil, a transceiver with decoder and a tag. So this is the last one, that is RFID. All these are the input devices. So all these are the hardwares. Okay, there is no software in it. All these are the hardware, whether it's a joystick, whether it's a touch screen, tablets, or we can call that digital cameras. These are the input devices, or we can say hardwares. Next we will see, my dear learners. Okay, one homework is for you. Find out any two differences between RFID and barcode reader. So you have to tell me in the comment section what is the difference between RFID and a barcode reader. Normally we can know what is barcode reader normally used in the malls and to malls for the scan if you want to scan any objects. Okay, so barcode reader should be there, and FRID, it is works with the radio frequency waves. Okay, so you have to tell me the difference between both of them. Okay, okay, now we will see about output devices. Now we have to move upon output devices. So what is output devices? Okay, let's see. So these are also external devices that gives us output in the form in which the user can read. So they give output. You do not need to give any input on it. They give you the result. They give you the output. So that's why they are called output devices. We have learned about many output devices like printer, monitor, speaker. In the previous classes, we already know what is monitor, speakers, because these are the output devices. Let us learn more about output devices. In this class, we will see some other output devices. Okay, monitor and speaker, we already know what is speaker, what is printer, what is monitor, but we have to see some other output devices. Okay, so first is plotter. This is a plotter. So what does plotter do? Let's see. A plotter is a special type of printer used for printing high quality graphics or diagrams. Okay, plotters are used by architects and map designers to print building maps, machines designs, and also used for automobile engineering to make design of a car. Normally, if you want to print very big thing, a poster, or you have to design a building map or design an automobile or a car map of it, so you use a plotter. Okay. Next is the output device, that is projector. So this is the projector normally used. Okay. So it is also output devices because they show you the result. They show you a big picture of it. Okay. So a projector is the output devices that can take images as input, which are generated by a computer and displays them on the screen, wall, or a flat surface. So this is a projector. They display the images on a flat surface, whether it is a screen or a wall or a flat surface. Okay, so we can use a projector to show a presentation on a large screen so that everyone in the room can able to see. Normally projectors are less popular nowadays, but it is very popular to show a presentation or a movie or something like that. Okay, so that's why a large audience can able to see because it is in the large surface or a screen. Okay, so they give output. So that's why a projector, or we can call plotter, is a output devices. Okay, so this much is clear. Input and output devices both are clear with their example. Okay, now we will move on some internal components of a computer system. Let's see some internal components. So what are the internal components of a computer? Means the component which is inside the computer. Before that, we will discuss all the components that are external, that are easily visible, that are outside the computer, whether it is a joystick or a tablet or a plotter or scanner or computer or keyboard. These are the external devices. Now we will see some internal devices that is internally in the computer, that is inside in the computer. Okay, so let's see some internal components. So the part of a computer that are found inside, it is known as internal devices. Okay, so the devices or the system that is inside in the computer, this is known as internal components. There are many hardware components that are present inside a CPU. So there are lots of hardwares are there inside the computer. For example, motherboard, processor, RAM, ROM, different devices, ports, and SMPS, etc. Let us discuss these devices in detail. So all these things, whether it is a RAM, ROM, motherboard, processor, all these are the internal devices that is there inside the computer. We cannot see outside the computer. A RAM is not situated outside the computer. Okay, it is inside. Okay, so that's why they are called internal components. Okay, let's see one by one what are they. Starting with motherboard. motherboard look like this. Okay, so a motherboard is a main circuit board. So motherboard is also known as main circuit board. So the motherboard is a main circuit board that hold many important components of a computer system. So they hold the important components of a computer system. So this device ensures that all the parts receive electricity and communicate with one another. So what does motherboard works is that motherboard is a device that works to connect all the parts of the computer, or we can say they see whether all the parts of the computer get electricity, and they help us each and every part of the computer to communicate with each other. Okay, so this device ensures that all the parts receive electricity and communicate with one another. The motherboard hold the microprocessor, graphic cards and sound card. So in motherboard, the microprocessor is there, graphic card is there and sound card is there. So the motherboard is the backbone of that ties the computer components together at one spot and allow them to work together. So with the help of motherboard, all the components of the computer can able to connect with each other and able to perform their functions. Okay, without it, none of the component pieces such as CPU, GPU and hard drive could not able to interact. So motherboard help us to interact all the parts of the computer and ensure that all the parts of the computer get electricity also. So this is the work of motherboard, and motherboard has three things: microprocessor, graphic card and sound card. These three things are there in motherboard. Motherboard is clear. Now we will move on. SMPS. SMPS stand for switch mode power supply. What is switch mode power supply? Let's see. So SMPS is a electronic power supply. What is it? It is a electronic power supply. Okay, so we can call it, it is a electronic power supply that user are switching regulator to convert electrical power efficiently. In other words, it helps in supplying electricity to all the parts of the computer. So what does SMPS? They supply electricity in all the parts of the computer. Motherboard ensure that all the parts of computer receiving electricity or not, but SMPS gives electricity to all the parts of the computer. Okay. Next is CPU. Third is CPU. So what is CPU? CPU is central processing unit, is called the brain of the computer. So if someone asks you, can you tell me the brain of the computer? So you can say, yes, I can tell. That is CPU. That is central processing unit, is known as the brain of the computer. It is present in the motherboard. So CPU is present in motherboard. Okay. It does all the processing work. What does CPU do? So they do all the processing work, calculation, arithmetic and logical calculation of a system. So they do all these three main things of the computer: calculation, arithmetics and processing. Okay, so when a system receives input, then the CPU start working on the data to produce the desired output. If first you have to give the input, then the CPU start performing their function and they give you the output. If it is related to processing and calculation and arithmetic thing, then only they can give you the output. First you have to give the input to the CPU, then the CPU will process it, and then after that they can show you the desired output of it. Okay, so after processing data, it passes the result to output devices. So this is the main function of CPU. CPU work is to process something, or related to calculation, related to arithmetic, they can do. Okay, so this is known as the brain of the computer. CPU is clear. Now the fourth one is the memory unit. So what is memory unit in a computer? So memory unit to store data in a computer system. So in the computer system, if you want to store data, so memory is there. Okay, so there are two types of memory chips on the motherboard, that is RAM and ROM. So there are two types of memory chips that is there in your computer to store your information, to store your data. Okay, so we can categorize it into the two ways, like RAM and ROM. So first we will see about RAM. RAM is random access memory. So this is RAM. So RAM is also called the main memory, or what volatile memory of a computer system. So if someone asks you the main memory of a computer system, that is RAM, random access memory. Okay, so this is the main memory or volatile memory of a computer. It stores data temporary as long as the system is switched on. So they store the data in a temporary basis. So they store that data as much as your computer is switched on. This time period they can store the data, okay, for the temporary purposes. Okay, as we switch off the computer, the data stored in RAM is washed off. Okay, if you switch off your computer, then all your data that is stored in RAM is washed off. Okay, so that's why we can call it store your data for the temporary purposes. Okay, so RAM is placed in the form of a chip in the motherboard of a computer. Of course, RAM is there in the motherboard of your computer. It is called read and write memory. What it is called? Read and write memory, because as we read new data on it, the old one is washed off. As when you read the new data, when you write the new data on it, the old data that is there in your RAM is washed off. Okay, when we switch on a computer, it loads the operating system into RAM. The amount of RAM installed in a computer affects the number and the size of a program that a computer can run simultaneously. So this is the main function of RAM. Okay, to store data in a temporary purpose. So your data is stored when your system is switched on, as much as the data can store in the RAM. When you switch off that computer, the data that is there in the RAM is washed off. Okay, and it is also known as read and write memory. Okay, so RAM is also known as read and write memory, because when we write a new thing on it, the older one is automatically washed off. Okay, next is second type of memory, that is ROM, that is ROM, read only memory. Okay, so full form of ROM is read only memory. Okay, so ROM is called a non-volatile memory, because RAM is known as volatile memory, so it is known as non-volatile memory. Okay, it stores the pre-recorded data which can only be read. It is stored, the pre-recorded means it is stored the data which is there in your computer for longer period of a time. Okay, it is just like your permanent data. If you store some data in ROM, it is permanently there in your computer. It is no washed off or no delete off, something like that. Okay, so we cannot write anything on the memory. In the RAM we can able to write, but in ROM we cannot able to write on it. Okay, that is why it is called read only memory. It is read only memory. RAM is known as read and write only memory. It is read only memory. You can able to read, you cannot able to write anything on it. Okay, so we cannot write anything on the memory. That is why it is called read only memory. It keeps the data in it even if the computer is switched off. So whatever your data is in ROM, it is there in your computer, whether it is a switch on or switch off. Okay, usually it contains the information about software which can only be read. Normally in ROM, the software information should be there, because it cannot washed away. It is permanent in your computer. It is read only. We cannot able to write anything. So that's why it is about the information of the software. Okay, ROM is used for storing special software called BIOS, or we can call it basic input output system. So this system is stored in ROM. Okay, the BIOS helps to load the operating system when a computer is switched on. So this is the main differences between the RAM and the ROM. Okay, so I am hoping that these differences, and I am hoping what is ROM and what is RAM is totally clear to you. Okay, now we will see some other thing, that is ports. What is ports? Okay, so a port generally refer to the part of a computer that is available for the connection to the peripheral, such as inputs and output devices. So port is something we can say, and in the computer system different ports are there to connect your input or output devices on it. Okay, like printer, like mouse, like CPU. you have to connect it with some ports are there in the computer system. So these are the ports. Okay, as in the picture also, different ports are there to connect your headphones, earphones, mouse, or we can say pen drives. Okay, so different ports are there. Okay, so to connect your input or your output devices in the computer. For example, a keyboard, a mouse, pen drive, these there are 4 or 6 number and present on the back or side of the computer. So in the computers or in the CPU side, we can see different ports are there to connect your output or input devices to the computer. Okay, because if speaker is there, the speaker have to connect to your computer, then only they can able to perform their function. If printer is there, so printer have to connect it with your computer, so that's why they can able to take the print with the help of computer. If I have a headphone or I have a, we can say, earphone, so I have to connect with your computer. Okay, then only I can able to listen the sound that is there in the computer. Okay, so this is the ports. Now other thing is disk drive. What is disk drive? What does disk drive do? Let's see. We can say disk drive is in a computer are devices that helps you to store and retrieve data and application on storage device such as hard disk, CD and DVD. So disk drive help us to store your data. Okay, so they also have comes in DVD and CD form or in hard disk. We can able to store your data. Of course, in the CDs or in DVDs, we can able to store your, we can say, videos, or we can say albums, wedding albums or something like that. Okay, so the main storage component in hard disk will store all the data of a computer system. So in the hard disk, all the data of the computer system is stored in the hard disk of a computer. Okay, so this is hard disk. It's look like this. Can you see this hard disk? This is the hard disk. So it is located inside the computer. Where the hard disk is there? Inside the computer. So that's why we can call all these things as a internal devices. Okay, CD and DVD are used to store and also move data from one computer to another computer. So in the CD and DVD, we can able to transfer the data and store the data on it. Okay, so CD and DVD drives are used to read and write information on CD and DVD respectively. Okay, so in the CD and DVD, we can able to read and write the information on it. So these are all about hardwares, their components and the internal devices of the computer, that is CD, DVD and ROM, RAM, all these things. I am hoping so all these things are totally clear to you. Okay, and the word meaning is also there, like stylus. Stylus is a pen that help us to write something on the smart board or on your tab. Magnetic link, what is the ink used to write numbers code in the bottom of the checks, that is magnetic ink. Ports are there in the computer, so that's why we can able to connect everything like your input and output devices in the computer. Motherboard, it is the main circuit of the computer. See, the new words, or we can say tricky terms, we already discussed in the chapter, so there is no need to study this is again, because we already discussed in the chapter. So I am hoping so the computer chapter number 1st of your book is totally clear to you. In this chapter, we will see first about input devices. So what are input devices? Okay, and their types. Then we will see some output devices and their types. And then we will see some of the internal devices that is there in your computer and their function. So this is the chapter number 1st all about. I am hoping so this chapter is totally clear to you. So that's all, my dear learners, for this class. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.